A couple of weeks ago I did a video about Nvidia's keynote speech at CES in which they unveiled the new Shield, and I talked about it, and basically I got rather annoyed with them and said that it was a pretty poor conference. And it looked like they were messing us about with the options they were giving us and what they were going to do in relation to their existing customers. However, as it transpired and as time went on, we discovered that actually it wasn't so bad after all. And apart from one service that I still have a problem with, everything seemed to turn out okay. And the drip that we got over the next few days and weeks basically made me a lot happier. And I felt a lot happier about the console, felt a lot happier about Nvidia and the way they were treating their customers. Cut to last week, and we get Nintendo's conference. And it was pretty much the same sort of thing, and I did a video about that in which I moaned extensively about what was going on in that conference and how I felt about it and how I felt that Nintendo had made a complete balls up of it. But I did hold this feeling that maybe they were going to pull it out of the fire, maybe they were going to turn it round, and over the next few days and weeks we would hear stuff that would make us feel better about it. Well, unfortunately, I have to say that that wasn't the case. And if you look at what's happened since, we've had the issue with peripherals, and you've got no charging when using the Joy-Con holder. Now, the charging grip, which it's being called, is available separately, and you have to buy that. So if you've got the Joy-Cons in the grip, and you want to be able to charge them, you're going to have to pay $27.99 in order to get this new fancy grip. Extra Joy-Cons for a pair is $74.99 and a single one is $42.99. And then you've got things like an adapter, which is $27.99, which you're going to need if you're going to take the controller on the move, you know, the portable part of it. If you're going to take it away with you on holiday or something, you're going to need an extra power supply. So that's another $27.99. So when you factor in all this stuff and then you factor in the price of the Pro controller, and if you're somebody like me who prefers to use a proper controller, you may want to have to go out and buy two of those. I've seen it in the UK for $64.99 and I've actually seen it for as much as $99.99, but you can't really blame Nintendo for that, although maybe you can, I don't know. So the cost of the peripherals is utterly ridiculous, and as usual with Nintendo, they're trying to make us buy more peripherals from day one. There's not enough stuff in the box to really get you up and running, despite what they said in the conference, because I'm sorry, but you're not going to be using those Joy-Cons individually as controllers, not unless you want serious RSI. So then we get beyond the peripherals and we look at the online service, and you'd think, okay, they're going to produce a paid service, it's going to be along the lines of Microsoft and Sony, and then you start looking at it a bit more deeply and you find that they're going to be providing one NES or SNES game a month, which doesn't sound all that great, and then you find out that it's for that month. So in effect what happens is you get that game and then you have it for a month, and then if you want to carry on playing it, you have to buy it. Oh, excuse me, what? And then we find out that with this online service, you're going to have a voice chat option. Great, you might think. Excellent. Nintendo are finally getting in the 21st century. And then you find out that you need an app on your phone in order to be able to use it. It's not integral to the system. And then you find out you're going to have to buy the app. Yeah, you didn't mishear me there. You're going to have to buy this app in order to be able to use voice chat online. I think the next peripheral Nintendo are going to release is a little mask that you put on your face that they can charge you while you breathe. We heard nothing about the Virtual Console, and a couple of people have talked about the Virtual Console and the fact that Nintendo could have a huge back catalogue and they could provide us with games every month and they'd still have loads left to sell us. And I have to agree. The fact is that they've got a huge back catalogue and they could clean up in this market, but unfortunately they just want to keep drip feeding us games and charging us for every single one. And then we get to the console itself. And I've already talked about it in terms of the hardware. But what about in terms of being able to get hold of one? Well, we already know that the Mini NES has had some serious issues with availability, and it looks like we're getting a repeat performance with the Swtch, because I pre-ordered it on the day of release, and when I went back in to look at it the following, well, that afternoon, it had already sold out. And so both versions, the grey version and the version with the red and blue Joy-Cons, have both sold out everywhere that I could find in the UK. And I presume it's the same in other markets. And we just know that you're going to have these scalpers on eBay selling them for hundreds of pounds above the RRP, which isn't cheap in the first place. So we've got issues with availability, and I would suggest that we're probably going to have issues with availability right up until Christmas. Assuming Nintendo don't get their finger out, and frankly their finger is so far up their own arse these days that you can see it waggling behind their teeth when they smile. And then I look at games, and the prices for games are, well, around about the £60 mark. 1-2 Switch is, I think, £40 in the UK. 1-2 Switch. That, whatever it was that they presented on stage, that should have been bundled with the console just to show off what it can do. But they want to charge us for that as well. If you look at Mario Kart, which is basically a rehash of Mario Kart 8 with the extra tracks and so on and so forth, they're charging, I think, 50 quid for that. Splatoon 2. Call this a sleight of hand if you like, because Splatoon 2? Really? It's not really Splatoon 2, is it? It's just Splatoon with a couple of extra tracks and some new costumes and a couple of extra guns and things. It's not Splatoon 2. It's not a new game, is it? They've not added a load of new functionality to it. Apparently it looks a little bit better, but not significantly so. Not according to Digital Foundry. I think I saw that going for £60. These are remasters, and they're going for £60 and £50. For Mario, £50 for Mario Kart and £60 for Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2. Don't forget the 2. It's 2, the second version. Really, honestly. It's not just a updated version. And then obviously I talked the other day about the fact that developers aren't really that interested, it seems, or at least something like 50% of them don't seem to think that the Switch is going to do particularly well. And if they're thinking that, they're not going to be developing for it. And then today I hear some more concrete information that sort of solidifies that idea. And we find out that Borderlands 3 is not coming to the Nintendo system. And when asked about it, the guys said Nintendo had other priorities. Yeah, other priorities than games. They're going to be making Amiibo and stuff like that, I expect, because obviously they're a toy company and they're making toys. They're not really interested in making a games console, it seems. So you put all this together, you know, the price of the peripherals, the price of the games, the fact that you can't get hold of the console already because of, I don't know whether it's artificially generated, but certainly a difficulty with demand exceeding what's available. You know, you look at the voice chat app that you're going to have to pay for, the fact that you're getting to rent some NES and SNES games every month. You put it all together and it basically looks like Nintendo are just trying to suck us dry. It's like they haven't realised that they need to make a dent in the market. I thought I was going to be making this video and going, nope, it's all right. They just messed up the conference like I did with Nvidia. But no, of course not. Of course not. It's fucking Nintendo, isn't it? And they want to screw us for every penny they can get out of us. Not realising that a lot of us are seeing through that now. I give up, honestly. I don't think Nintendo give a shit about us anymore. I'm not sure if they ever did, to be honest. And unfortunately, they don't realise that they're no longer top dog. And they all the jumping around like idiots on the stage and laughing and acting like complete fools isn't going to make us think they're touchy-feely and lovely people. Certainly not me, anyway. I was hoping they would pull it round following the conference, but they haven't. In fact, they've made things worse with each day that's passed. I'm all but done with them. I haven't cancelled my pre-order yet, but I'm very close. My finger's hovering over the button to cancel. And I wouldn't be at all surprised that that's exactly what I do in the next few days. But we'll see. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you think the conference was rubbish and what we've heard subsequently is even worse? Or do you think I've got it completely wrong? Do you think that, maybe there's something about the console that is compelling? Because I'm having a hard time finding it. But anyway, it's late and I need some sleep, so I'm off to bed. And I will speak to you guys again soon. Bye.